Mary Zeran here, and welcome to my studio. So my studio space is about 10 feet wide by 20 feet long, and it's in the basement of my home. I divide it into two areas. Right now we're standing in the wet area, and the reason we call it this is because one, it's the laundry, but two, it's where I do all my painting. So on this side, you see some of my paints. You see some of my cut pieces of Duralar. You see my lights. You see different color charts and color wheels and things like that, and mixing things. You can see all my reference books. And these things are actually sketchbooks. I'll show you that later. Here are my brushes. I like to colorize everything so you can see my paints going yellow, orange, red, purple, blue, and then here's a little green. Those are also some of my tools. I have an old bathroom cabinet that I've converted into paint drawers. So here's my yellow drawer. Here's my orange drawer. I have another one for blues. And then I have one for greens. I also have where the sink pipes would be, that's where I store all my printmaking blocks that I make. I also have a section that's devoted to like bottles and things so I can mix my paints and my silkscreen stuff. So now, we're heading this way. Because this place is small, when I'm drawing things, I like to keep them flat, and so I put them on this shelving unit. My house came with this cool giant paper cutter, and I just love it. You can see, as we go this way, you can see some work I'm in process right now. And then often when I'm working on stuff that's small, I like to put it on a table so I can just lay things down. Because since I work with collage, it's not like painting where you just paint it on the surface. I'm actually taking pieces and laying them on top of the surface. So that way I don't have to be taping everything in place while I'm working. So after I've painted on the Duralar, I come over here and I hang it up on the wall. And once again, everything is done by color. So it goes yellow, orange, red, magenta, blues, greens, and blacks. And even though this is the green section, the reason it's in here is because it's got green stripes. So if there's a pattern, it's usually separated according to one of the main things. Like this one probably should have been blue, but it's in here. So yeah, as you can see, this is full of all sorts of different painted pieces. These here are the cradle panels that I use, and that's what I put on my pieces on when I glaze them, and this is an example of how they look after some things have been glued on. Another table that I like to work on are these two right here. The surface it's high, it's tall, which I love, so I don't have to lean over so much. And then these wheels are on, these tables are on wheels so I can move them around wherever I want to. Underneath here, I've got all my paper stored and my brush strokes that are my drawing brush strokes that I paint with a bottle, some in-process silk screens, and then some in-process little cradle panels. On this wall, I have pegboards so I can just pin things to the wall when I'm working on them. For instance, if I was working on prints, I would put them here. This map drawer is probably my favorite part because each drawer is full of things. So for instance, as you can see, there are like all these different cut up pieces. These are the really fancy ones that are multicolors. Then I break it down into colors again. So I have a white drawer and a yellow drawer and a drawer full of different orange pieces and a drawer full of different magenta pieces, blues, two different greens, and a drawer full of black and white. After I start cutting things apart, I often have like scraps left over. So instead of throwing them away, I save them. So here you can see my pink and yellow scraps and my blue scraps, and there's also a scrap load of green ones there. So I think that is all I have to show you today. I thank you so much for coming and visiting me. Really wish you could come for a cup of coffee. Bye.